What is up? We're back. That's right. Tyler and I just finished the NBA rundown. If you missed that earlier, it's still going to be up on the YouTube channel all day. Plenty of time to get our NBA thoughts in before, of course, the Hardwood Live goes at 4:45 Eastern. But it's not NBA time. Right now, we are talking touchdowns. I'm back with Tyler. We'll be bringing Title in really soon. But let's get started. Another exciting day in the NFL. Man, there's a lot of randomness. There is a lot of variance that's going into these games. And I'll tell you what, it makes an enjoyable watch. But it has not necessarily been the easiest handicap. Give me your main takeaways from yesterday's results.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay sucks. Green Bay sucks. Those two teams, we definitely got a bump down in the power rankings. Miami with Tua back, I mean, they won the game. They didn't look all that good. He also tried to be a running back and run over a middle linebacker, which I don't think anyone was happy to see. And, I mean, outside of that, the Chargers are still just a beat-up team. The Seahawks look a lot better than we thought. The Giants found that horseshoe that's up their ass, and they touched it again and got another W. So hopefully they can get to 11-1 and be the most fraudulent 11-1 team and take that title from the Steelers a few years ago. But, I mean, outside of that, and then the Chiefs beat up on the San Francisco 49ers, which I think a lot of us seen coming.
I'll tell you what, I thought the Niners were going to be good once they got Bosa back. I thought he was going to mean the difference. But once again, and we've seen this twice this year, you can't blitz Mahomes. You got to sit back in the zone because he's going to eat you apart. He's too mobile on the move.
I don't get why anyone tries to do anything other than what Cincinnati did in the AFC Championship game. Drop all your guys back, blitz 3, and just pray to God he just doesn't let anybody get open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's standing back there for too long, and one of the guys get to him.
All right, well, let's do a quick review of every single game. You talked about the Bengals and what they did to the Chiefs in last year's championship game. Let's talk about what they did to the Falcons yesterday. They put up 28 points in the first half. They scored a touchdown in the second half. Boy, this game was rocking and rolling. Only 7 points in the whole second half. The Bengals stat got it done. Thank you to Title because I used that core. And it was endorsed by my guy, Uncle T, on the Wishbone podcast, a.k.a. the Old Guys Pod. He said, hey, man, this weather's great. It's going to be high scoring. And he was right. I thought it might go for even more. Jamar Chase left the game with injury. Otherwise, they could have had 42, 49, maybe be in the 50s because the Falcons had no answer for Burrow and Chase in the first half. And slowed down a little bit, but that's what happens when you get those big double-digit leads. What are your takeaways from the Bengals moving to 4-3?
Yeah, I mean, Burrow did very good. That offensive line held up well against this Falcons team who doesn't really have a pass rush. And finally, the Falcons just didn't come back and backdoor a spread. So it's like Jamar Chase did get hurt. He came back into that game. He was still able to put up 2 touchdowns, 130 yards. And they got a $155 out of my guy T. Boyd as the third-string receiver. So if you're going to get that on top of Higgins giving you 93, Hurst giving you 50, this offense is going to be chugging along spread. They're going to put up 30-plus points in every game, regardless of only running the ball for 3.4 yards a carry and Mixon go for 58 yards on 17 attempts. You don't need a run game when Burrow's going to throw it like this. And it's just going to help your defense out a ton. So if their offense is going to come to life now, watch out because this team's going to start winning games a lot quicker and have a lot more high-scoring games.
Right. And of course, we're going to be doing, a little more in-depth conversation tomorrow night when you and I review our weekly power rankings available on the Run Pure
And this is the exact reason why we never dropped them. They kind of hung around that same top 10 range. We never pushed them too far back because we knew this team could come alive at any moment, and they did this week.
But what's funny there is I was going to ask you about the Falcons. What are we going to do with them?
I mean, I think they're right where they should be.
Okay.
We never really thought they were all that good. They were just covering spreads, and then they finally played an offense that put it on them. A couple other offenses should have did this. They didn't. They let them stay in it. So I think they're still right where they're at. They're right around a little lower than an average team.
Yeah, I think they really need to be at home to take advantage of that speed for the Falcons. So maybe what we'll do is up their home field just a little bit and then just lower their road grade, especially going outdoors there. Any other takeaways?
The pass defense for Cincinnati, I mean, I know it's only against Mariota, which isn't the best quarterback.
No, not at all.
But, I mean, you held him to 124 yards, and 75 of those yards came on one pass. It was a 75-yard bust.
That was a dart, too. I mean, that was a dime. He was beautiful.
So Zacchaeus goes for 3 receptions, 31 yards. It's your best receiver. Then Kyle Pitts 3 for 9. Then Drake London 1 for 9.
Yeah.
Your pass defense is going to be that good. Good luck beating this team.
Yeah, but like we said, not necessarily. It's not like shutting down Mahomes, right? Shutting down Mariota. A little different ball game. Another quarterback who, didn't have a really good game yesterday, at least from a daily fantasy perspective, was Lamar Jackson. And after getting off to that hot start, right, and thinking he was going to get $200 million, Lamar Jackson's numbers have not been that good. The one number they do care about, though, is the one in the win column that the Ravens picked up to improve to 4-3. Browns 2-5. Let's be honest, Tyler, that team that you really liked for the last couple of years, that's kind of been disappearing. This defense has just gotten worse and worse. It's basically like, kind of like the Steelers, right? I mean, the Myles Garrett is their TJ Watt, and other than that, they're all. I know you guys got Highsmith too, but right, just not a lot of above average players there. And if Garrett isn't completely getting loose, this defense doesn't really instill much fear in opponents. Are you surprised that this game was so close? The Browns covered the spread. The Ravens got the win. It wasn't necessarily in an impressive fashion. And I think you still have to be concerned about this offense. Rashad Bateman was back. Big help there to Lamar. But to be honest, against this Browns team, if you're a Super Bowl contender, should that game be that close at home? What are we going to do when we're talking about these teams tomorrow night when we're doing the power rankings?
Yeah, I think I'm not as surprised that the Browns covered because we talked about it in the playbook. We said we like the Ravens here. Weren't laying the 6, teased it down to a half a point. They got the job done. They won the game. Right. So that was the best way to approach it because we know this team. They just can't seem to hold on to leads. We watched them go up 23-13. It was like, oh, this game should be in the bag. Went and got a snack before the 4 o'clock games are getting ready to start. I come back. It's a 3-point game, and Cleveland has the ball driving down the field before they shank that field goal. So it's like they just don't like to win games. They like to make them tight. It's just rough. I'm not going to back this team to win the Super Bowl. Maybe Lamar gets into the Offensive Player of the Year award race. But, just win the division for me and cash that future on that. That's all I hope they do. Just string together enough wins to get the division.
Okay, yeah. And at 4-3, they're definitely in control because there's other teams in that AFC North that have plenty of issues. Of course, the Cleveland Browns being right on top there. Detroit Lions once again failed to cover the spread. That was a pretty poor performance. I thought that game was going to be close. I thought that game was going to be fun. Maybe it's a little different if Jamal Williams does not fumble on the goal line. Jared Goff looked pretty bad. The Dallas defense looked pretty good. Beating up the Lions, though, we're not going to upgrade you for that, right, Tyler?
No, can't upgrade them for beating up on the Lions, and there were running back fumbles on the goal line when they should have scored and added points there. They lose their star receiver to a concussion right off the bat. So it's like they were just behind the 8 ball to start. Their offensive line couldn't really help Goff out. He tried taking a couple shots to these other receivers. Diggs and the other guys made him pay. So it's like, yeah, you beat up on the Lions, but you should do that. Thought the game would be closer. No real upgrade or downgrade on either side. I've
been having problems sleeping at night sometimes. So I end up just
best part about this game
was
watching Noah Brown do a complete flip on that one hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the ball
came up. Yeah.
I'd have fumbled too if I was upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, felt like a roller coaster. So, I have problems from sleeping sometimes. So usually if I'm just going to lie in bed, listen to some podcasts, right? A lot of, and this is not more than one pods, talking about Dan Campbell now. Once again, they're 1-5. It's a tough team. Does he get another year here or a certain, my question is Dan Campbell going to go another year? I'm kind of bouncing.
I think there's a
around
possibility. I'm not going to say there's built-in excuses, but when the team was fully healthy in the first couple of weeks, they looked like a tank. Their offense was putting up points. They didn't win all the
defense
games.
Has been terrible for 2 years, though.
But that's also one of them things, if you spend enough money in the offseason and draft a couple good guys, impact players on all 3 levels, your defense could flick a switch and they could be right back on and good. So it's I think that's a lot easier to fix. The building blocks are in place on offense, and the offensive line's already built. So it's as far as all the bad teams, it wouldn't surprise me to see them make the 180 on a 1-year rebuild. You know what I mean?
Do you think they'll be drafting a quarterback with that top pick?
Yes.
Okay. Tyler talked about the NBA show. Now we're finally getting hate messages in the chat, man. I did jinx it. What's up, Logan? What's up to everybody else watching? This is Talking Touchdowns, brought to you by RunPureSports.com. Give us the thumbs up and head on over to RunPureSports.com for all the best in daily gambling information. Tyler, our next game is going to be the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Commanders. And who better to break down a Packers loss than our guy, Titletown? Man, on the Old Guys Pod title, we talk about how tough it is getting old. And I think Aaron Rodgers is learning that lesson the same way Holden, JT, Uncle T, and I have been suffering as we go up in age. What did you see in that game yesterday from the Packers, Title?
I came in at the wrong time, that's for sure. And I heard the
well, don't worry. You're here still early enough to hit me for my terrible Jimmy G take. So it's going to go both ways.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, is it time to panic? Yeah, it's definitely time to panic. Don't have receivers to get open. Can't stop the run.
That's the main problem, right? Because we knew that receivers was going to be an issue. But you assumed, hey, you're going to.
I thought Rodgers could make up for it. I mean, I expected Aaron Jones and Dillon to run the football better, to create one-on-ones where Rodgers can make guys open. Dillon's not even seen the field. Aaron Jones, 8 carries, 23 yards, so he didn't do anything on the ground. You got to run the ball more than 12 times. Rodgers only dropped back 35 times. They didn't run too many plays, but you have to run the football. You have to be a run-first team. You have to learn to stop the run. You have to play defense. They came in with one of the best defenses Rodgers has ever had. And, nothing seems to click. Their special team is awful. Amari Rodgers can't hold on to the football. I mean, it's every single phase.
I was telling Tyler, that turned the whole game.
Oh, their special teams has been awful for years. Like, even when they were 13-3, that was the big weak point on their team was the special
As long
teams.
as I can remember, the special teams has been cheeks. Punting, return. I mean, I was saying the same thing when I was watching. My guys from my buddies down here are from Wisconsin as well, so they've been Packer fans for a while. And we were like, have we ever had a good special teams returner, punter, anything?
Charles
coverage?
Woodson.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the last
90s.
time. I said the last time I think we had a good one was Charles Woodson. Yeah. I mean, go back to the Seahawks playoff game years and years ago when they let up the fake field goal and all that, the onside kick. Like, I mean, man, they've been bad for a while. But yeah, I mean, no special teams. Offense, they can't get open, can't run the football right now. You can't stop the run.
Were they running the same defensive play all game too? Because I swear to God, Washington threw the ball underneath for 10 to 15 yards every other play, and there wasn't a Green Bay player in sight for the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was watching other games as well. I was after the Amari Rodgers fumble, I was like, screw this.
You're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the bottom TV, but I was watching some.
And how about getting so close to the point where all that lineman had to do was corral that ball, and he could have handed it to Tanyan and blocked for him as he went up the sideline, and they would have scored, and he let it go right between his legs.
Yep. I mean, it was a penalty, thankfully. So, like, it would have been.
It was?
Okay. There was a penalty. But
if he gets that ball, that's touchdown.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was fun as long as it lasted. One of the linemen made a great play on that. But if you're in that situation against Washington, I mean, that's tough.
Is he retiring this year? I think so. I think he's done.
After
watching him lay on the field face down just in defeat, I'm surprised him and Brady didn't just go, we're both done right now. See you next. See you whenever. Give me my booth deal.
No, I said last week I thought he was done. I thought beginning of the year, this definitely could be his last year. And I thought when he learned real quick about the Devontae Adams, that not everyone is Devontae Adams, that this was going to be it.
He might have some help incoming. Rumors are in Pittsburgh that Chase Claypool's out the door. He
has to. DJ Moore, they don't want to trade. Judy. There's so many names out there, but the Packers never do anything.
They're saying you guys are willing to overpay for Chase Claypool, so it's
they should. We should overpay for anyone. I mean, I don't care.
Take the 6'6" receiver who tries to catch the ball like this and won't put his arms out like this.
Hey, I'll take him. Trust me.
Tyler, speaking of quarterbacks that are done, have we seen Carson Wentz's last snap as a starter as Heineke's come in? The team looks better with him. I don't see why you'd even bring him back.
Even if Heineke doesn't do it, go to Howell. Don't put Wentz back in there.
I think Carson Wentz, it's backup time for this guy, and let's see if he's as much of a problem in the locker room, as we've heard. It's tough to be a backup when you're not pulling on the same page there. What were your takeaways from that Washington side, Tyler? I mean, is it just nothing? Are we going to be upgrading them tomorrow night on power rankings?
I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, they stopped an offense that kind of was just all they could do was run the ball, or Aaron Jones. They figured that out. They stopped them. The wide receivers just couldn't catch the ball. I mean, Amari Rodgers, outside of dropping the punt, he had a deep ball in his hands from Aaron Rodgers, and he couldn't hold on to it. So it's like there's just all these guys that just can't catch the ball. Like, you can't really give Washington credit for that. They're still a bottom 4 to 5 team in the league. It's just how much closer is Green Bay to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough season for your guys, Tyler.
Tyler, what were the odds? Tyler, what were the odds? We hit the relax prop after the game. What were the odds been for Washington?
Oh, I mean, if they would have listed that, we could have tripled our money we lost on the relax one.
That's probably more than that, because they all got it done. Heineke had more than Rodgers.
After the first quarter, I was like, all we need is 50 rushing yards. We'll be back in the lead. And then after halftime, I was like, we don't have a fucking shot at this.
Yeah, at first I was like, Heineke has 0 yards and it's been a quarter running game. No one's doing anything. I was like, yeah, we should get this. Nah, the Packers couldn't do nothing.
No, they just couldn't even win us the game.
No.
All right, hey, Tyler, you missed the first couple. The first thing I want to do, you missed it. I got to give you props because I used your core yesterday. Because you know what? It went in conjunction with something that we had said on the Wishbone Pod with Uncle T, and that was that the Bengals were going to smash. The weather was great, and it was the perfect matchup. Let me go back to you real quick just to talk about the Bengals. I ran, one of those stacks is one of my lineups. That was the one that cashed. I assume you had a great day if you were running that core. Did you have a great day yesterday, cash-wise?
Tournaments I did. Again, it was 2 weeks in a row or tournaments. I took third on FanDuel in the 444. For 4,000. I like focus on the smaller field GPPs, 300 people or less is what I like to focus on. Gives you actually a legit shot to win. You don't have to bank the nuts. Like a McCole Hardman. If you're in the Millie Maker and McCole Hardman has 3 touchdowns, he's less than 1% probably, but people are going to have him, whereas I don't like dealing with that. So I focus on the higher dollar stuff a little bit and the shorter field. So yeah, FanDuel, 444, 100 people. I took third for 4,000, and then DK, the 400, I took fifth for 2,000. So I didn't get to the top, didn't get first place. The price pool was so top heavy, but it was definitely a good ROI, good profit on the tournaments for sure. Joey B-Stack went off. I wish it wasn't Boyd in the beginning.
Right. That was the only thing you had wrong.
That would have been all the money for sure if it wasn't Boyd, because every team pretty much ahead of me had Tyler Boyd, which is unfortunate. But yeah, felt nice to get one right. I'm glad you tailed spread.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and the Run Pure members. A good comment in here from. Did you see the morning show?
The morning. So I go from church to the gym, the morning show. But on my way from church to the gym really early, I turned it on, which I don't usually do. And the segment, I didn't hear the whole thing, but Hoop, we were at the later stage of the game, and Hoop was like, I think Gus Busses came up in every single game we've talked about. So they did talk a little bit.
Kept coming around to him on every single game, and he had 2 touchdowns. And I said, talk about running pure. I mean, even the show runs pure. That was so much fun, and it just made for some great content back and forth. So I just want to know on that.
Yeah, so I missed the prime Gus call because they talked about it every game, and I heard Hoop mention that.
They just kept coming back to it. Yeah, it didn't matter what game was it. It came back to Gus.
And he hurt my Lamar. I had Lamar in cash on FanDuel, and man, Gus took all that stuff.
Are you worried about Lamar after 3 top games? He's had 4 fantasy duds in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the problem was Josh Allen wasn't on the slate, Jalen Hurts wasn't on the slate. Those are the guys I focus on. And it was a really tough quarterback position. I'm a little worried, fantasy wise. I mean, I was worried after week 1 when he didn't run too much, and then the next 2-3 weeks his running was back up to normal. They're really overachieving though. If you looked at, there's some of the advanced numbers in weeks 2 through 4, they were playing out of their mind. With all their completions and everything, the yards per or throw from Lamar and everything, the completion rate. So I think they had to come back to earth a little bit. It's just the running numbers that I care about most, and they just weren't really there much.
Yeah, and in these couple weeks he's dudded, isn't it? Been with Bateman out, and now he's back.
But Bateman was back, and he's still throwing.
I mean, it's his first game back, and he was questionable all week. Let the man get a full week of practice in, be fully healthy, and then let's see what that offense looks like.
Yeah, I mean, teams are really scheming Mark Andrews. They're really scheming Mark Andrews, too. The defense is focusing on them.
All right. And the chat knows what game's coming up next because our guy, Nice Kevin, what's up? Pretty nice. He says, is this Sam Ehlinger report true? No more Matty Ice. As the Colts once again lose another game. They're 3-3-1. For how bad this team is, the fact that they have 3 wins, I mean, people are talking about getting rid of Reich. I mean, I can't believe they have 3 wins with this squad. The Titans bucked the trend of losing at home to the Colts. I think they were 2-8 at home against the Colts going into this game. So they get the win there. Kind of like we talked about with Kurt on Friday, though, right? That defensive line was just too much. And once you get pressure on Ryan, the whole team falls apart. The Titans are one of those teams that are not exciting. They're not glamorous, but they're a tough football team. And I think they're going to be around in the end. So the Titans are they are who we thought they were, right? I mean, they're a pretty good team. What do we make of the Colts, though? I'm leaning towards this team being absolutely terrible. Tyler and I seem to downgrade them every week, and I'm ready to keep downgrading them in the power rankings.
I don't know how much more I can downgrade them when I was so low on them to start. I mean, Matt Ryan's your quarterback. That's literally all I look at. I don't care what's around them, and the offensive line's a problem too. I mean, this offensive line was so good a couple of years ago. They can't get the running game going. Jonathan Taylor only touched the ball 10 times. But at the end of the day, when you have a statue back there, you're in field goal range. You take sacks to get you out of field goal range. He's been doing it all year. You turn over it's so bad. Like he can't be your quarterback at the end of the day if you want to be good. So yeah, keep throwing them down the list.
Yeah, Tyler, I get to take my victory lap on those previews there, right? You guys kept saying, "Oh, Matt Ryan's going to be smart enough; he can get things done." I said, "No, Matt Ryan sucks." So far, it looks like I'm right, and I don't even know if he'll get a chance to come back in and prove us wrong. So let's say the Sam Ehlinger report seems to be true. Are we going to be upgrading them with Sam Ehlinger? I don't watch a lot.
Sam Ehlinger sucks.
He went to Texas, right?
Yeah, he sucks. There's no upgrade there. It's Tim Tebow all over again. So it's like, really? And the report comes out that the Colts bench Ehlinger will start week 8 with Nick Foles as backup. And then 1 minute later, they come out and diagnose Matt Ryan with a shoulder sprain, won't practice this week. So is this him being benched for the rest of the season? They're going to try the young kid, or is this he's hurt and they're already just penciling the young kid in for this week? You know what I mean? Like those 2 reports coming back to back kind of worry me. I think you could see him in a few weeks back under center if Ehlinger's just not all that good. Like they don't have anything they need to see from Foles. Foles is a backup. So, I mean, downgrade them somewhat, but I think those bottom 3 teams are still worse than them spread. Like this team still has some pieces that they could win some games and put together a couple good games. But like Chicago, Washington, Pittsburgh, they're still better than those teams.
Pittsburgh's
sucks,
way better than Indianapolis. We'll discuss this on Friday. Title, from a daily fantasy perspective, if Ehlinger does play, how does that affect your projections for Jonathan Taylor?
I haven't really played Jonathan Taylor this year. I'm going to keep not playing him, so not much.
Oh, okay. Pretty easy then. Anything more on this game before we move on?
Nothing from me.
Nope.
Let's talk about your favorite team. I mean, this team gets more lucky than Title on a Saturday night, right, Tyler? The New York Giants are now 6-1, another come from behind win. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-5. Tyler, I run numbers and stuff. You know what their point differential is? Plus 18 on the year. They're plus 18 and they're 2-5. This Jaguars, it's got to be rough.
Didn't they shut out the Colts like 24-0?
Yeah, 24-0, and then they beat the Chargers.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah, and they lose every other game
like
they've lost. They're 0-5 in 1-score games. So that's how these numbers came about. Boy, it's really rough. I was really high on Trevor Lawrence. We're just not seeing it. I don't know how long we wait before we say, hey, okay, it's not like he's not going to be a good NFL quarterback, but he might not be, that guy that we had hoped. I mean, it's not too late. I don't want to write him off yet, but he had a great opportunity there, and I just didn't see it there. At the end, he's not making plays. He's not getting things done. And with Dougie P, we thought that things were going to improve. You talked earlier about the Giants being so lucky, but break it down one more time for how happy you are that these Giants keep lucking out. They're doing it for Joey Work and his dad. And the Jaguars, boy, they just can't win a close game.
Yeah, I mean, having my boy Joey get to see his team win, I just don't know how this team's still stringing together wins, to be honest with you. Like, they just...
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is the Jaguars.
It is the Jags, but, like, some of the other games they won, like, they just sneak them out. Like, Daniel Jones sucks. Like, he's just not a good quarter. Tell me he's good. Give me reasons why he's good.
Because he gets stuff done on the ground.
That's about it. Okay, so he's a running back. So they have 2 running backs in the backfield.
I mean, did we say that about Lamar for a couple of years? And he looked pretty good.
There's a better pass than Jones at this.
I don't think Jones is that bad. Oh, the internet doesn't think that it's that bad either, Tyler. Tyler's cutting out. We're going to come back.
It's a New York team. Am I back now, or is it still cutting out?
You're back. All right, say this one more time because the chat is not happy with you. The chat's saying it's slander. Come on, bro. Give them what you're trying to say, Tyler. Make your point.
No, I mean, like, he went 19 for 30 for 201, a touchdown and an interception. The touchdown was a one shot over the top of Darius Slayton in a 50-50 ball that could have went either way. Their guy comes down with it. He rushes for 107 yards on 11 attempts. That's a running back. Like, I just don't see this dude winning playoff games. He could put together all the wins he wants in the regular season. This team is not good to me. Barkley can only carry them so far. They're not going to win a playoff game. It's just one of them things.
But the fact that they made the playoffs,
this is legit. Like, title. Do you play like 2K and Madden?
I used to play a lot of Madden.
Okay.
And 2K.
Well,
yeah.
you remember like on 2K and Madden where there's that bad team that just waltzed to like a 1 seed when you simulate the season. It's like, how the hell this happened? It's like, oh, because their team chemistry was at 99. That's what the Giants are right now. Their coaching just has them winning games, and their chemistry is working. This team
but at a time where coaching
power.
has never been worse in the NFL because everybody wants to grab these 35-year-old assistants that don't have the same experience in the NFL, it has to be a huge edge. And more than 20 years ago, ever since the salary cap came in, this is a coach and quarterback league. There's no sport in the whole world, and that's maybe soccer or cricket that I don't know about, where coaching matters as much as it does in the NFL. So when you have a top coach like this guy, Brian Daboll, I think that means a lot, Tyler. I think you're kind of underrating these things. And yeah, they may lose in the playoffs. They probably
there's
will.
no chance.
They'll probably be betting against them.
Name NFC team that's playoff bound that they can beat.
But Tampa?
I'm not even sure they could beat them.
Well, we'll see. But I'm just saying, when we did our previews, right, we had this team as a loss every time. Even if they make it to the playoffs, that's got to be a huge win for the Giants, the team, and their organization. Title, jump in. Settle our debate here. What are your thoughts on the Giants?
I mean, they beat the Titans, the Panthers, the Cowboys beat them, the Bears, the Packers, and now the Ravens. That was their best win by far, and the Jaguars. They haven't really beat much.
Before you go into that Ravens win, there was one play where they stripped Lamar. He picked the ball up off the ground and proceeded to throw an interception. So they caused 2 turnovers in one play. Let me know the last time that's happened.
Almost Jimmy G, the safety in the pick 6. But no, the Ravens pissed on their leg in that game. I mean, I'm definitely great 6-1. They're winning football games. You are what your record says. They have a good defense. They have Saquon. I like Danny Dimes more than Tyler, that's for sure. But they're not winning playoff football games. I mean, come on now.
If they get to 11, if they get to 11-1.
For sure. 100%. This season
they've been terrible for like 5 years.
Yeah, this season's a success. I mean, even if they go under 500 to end the year, this season still probably is a success. I mean, no one expected this. But I mean, if we're talking they're 6-1, I mean, you're 6-1, you're looking at the playoffs. I mean, that's what we're talking right now, week 7. I mean, if we're looking ahead there, I just don't see them winning football games.
We'll see. There's not a lot of juggernauts.
Definitely not a lot of juggernauts.
This good season for them is just going to bite them in the ass down the road because it's Daniel Jones' contract year. You go 10-6, you make the playoffs. You probably got to pay the guy. So now you're stuck with him. If this is a 1-year wonder thing and now he sucks next year, there's your quarterback for the next 3 years, or you're trying to piece together something. I also think they start to fall off here, spread. They lost a key offensive lineman in that game, Evan Neal.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to see how this run game reacts to that. Like, they might just be that 6-1 team that finishes the year like 6-12. They just get housed from here on out.
First of all, now you're just adding games, but
6-11, 6-11. I was thinking 18 weeks.
I just like you to ponder this, right?
Look at their next schedule.
Dable just knows how to develop quarterbacks. What if
Would
he
you
just
say,
knows
Spread?
how to? What if Dable just knows how to develop quarterbacks?
I'm not convinced that one single man is a quarterback whisperer for somebody that we watched play so bad for so many years, and then he just walks in.
Jason Garrett is his coach.
It doesn't matter, Spread. He's not doing anything through the if he was throwing for 350 and 3 touchdowns, I'd be like, yeah, dude's a quarterback whisperer. Daniel
I will
Jones
say
has done
though,
nothing through the air.
There was a lot of everyone was saying the same stuff about Jalen Hurts as well. You got to look. Danny Dimes is only 25 years old at the end of the day, playing behind a suspect O-line with no wide
And he's
receivers.
got an NFL body.
Yeah, no, he definitely. I like Danny. I mean, I think in the last 2 years he's been my highest quarterback drafted for best ball. Obviously, a lot of that
because
is
he runs.
his running ability, and he's drafted in one of the last rounds.
That running ability is translating to wins because how many times did that happen on third down, and how many first downs is he picking up with those runs?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need quarterbacks that can run. It'd be very hard for me if I was an NFL coach or GM to have a quarterback that cannot run. I mean, yes, there's Tom Brady, there's Aaron Rodgers, but majority of them, if they're the Matt Ryans of the world, if you're a statue, it's just you need to be able to run. It changes your whole defense. Then you change. Do you spy them? Do you do this? It really gives the defense a lot of problems. I think running's a big thing, and he can do it. So, yeah, I like Dimes more than that. But I'm still – this whole Giants team, I'm not –
All right, where do you draw the line on Dimes? Like, how many guys are you taking him over? You taking him over, say, a Kyler Murray?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably taking him over.
I'm not.
Unfortunately, at the Kyler
Are you taking him over a Geno Smith?
Yeah.
I don't think so because both guys
He's looked good this year for sure. Geno has.
Both guys are 1-year wonders right now. Everything else in their career has been dog shit.
Yeah, but give me the DK Metcalfs, the Tyler Lockett's of the world.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you taking him over, say, I don't know, Mariota this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking him. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think his guy's all that good.
All right, we'll be revisiting this on a weekly basis here.
I will say, after talking all this stuff, there's way too many suspect bad quarterbacks in 2022 in the NFL right now. There should be.
Spread, you taking him over
it's
your
the hardest
boy?
position in sports.
Yeah, but I mean, the athletes are getting better. Medicine, everything is getting better. Like
defensive linemen are getting better. And offensive linemen don't get to practice.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a point, though, a year where it comes where over half the league's elite quarterbacks. I feel like the time should be sooner rather than later. But it's
by the definition of the word elite, that can't happen. But I understand what your point is.
You know what
taking him over your boy Jimmy G?
Yeah, that's
don't do that to me.
You know that answer.
I plead the fifth.
Are you taking him over your team's quarterback? If you
Rodgers?
say yes, or if you know,
Carr.
No, Carr. If you say that, you're high as a kite.
Yeah, I would take Carr. I'm still on team Carr.
I think Carr's probably a little better right now.
All right, I'm done with the Daniel Jones
slander. But he's only 25. All right, guys, if you're enjoying this conversation, please give us a thumbs up. Remember, this show, Talking Touchdowns, is brought to you by RunPureSports.com, your best in daily fantasy and sports gambling information. RunPureSports.com. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that had to be the biggest upset yesterday. They only scored 3 points against the Panthers.
I seen a tweet that said Mandalay somewhere in the One Sports books in Vegas.
Mandalay Bay
said there was 5 total tickets on the Panthers plus 13. 5 total tickets.
Wow.
So everyone and their mother was on the Bucs in this game, and everyone lost.
I mean, how many money line parlays did that blow up where people just threw them in there at minus 400 just thinking it was a free leg? Unbelievable what's going on in Tampa Bay. Are they more disappointing than Green Bay?
They have to be.
I think they're the Spider-Man gifts pointing at each other.
Well, the thing is, with Green Bay, we knew where they were going to have the issues. They got rid of Devontae Adams, and they didn't replace him, right? I mean, with Tampa, yes, we knew that they had the problems with the offensive line, but we thought that these things are going to be going bad. And this is 2 teams in this NFC South that had offensive-minded coaches. They replaced them with their defensive coordinators, and both have not done well. Also, defensive coordinators that never had success as a head coach. Todd Bowles has got to be on the hot seat. They're calling for Arians. Brady's not getting it done. Unbelievable here for them to put forward this type of performance. Title, let's start with you. What do we do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going forward? And imagine how many people play Brady. I know I played Fournette in a different lineup, not off your core, but I had three or four different lineups. I had Fournette in one of them. I thought he was a great play at 7,700 going against Carolina. I'm like, oh, they'll just get a huge lead. Then it's Lenny time all day. That game was a shock to me, and this happens every week in the NFL. But, boy, what do we do with Tampa going forward? I know what Tyler and I are going to do in the power rankings because that seems pretty obvious, but are you getting kind of afraid to put some of these guys in lineups now going into next week?
I mean, 100%. I had Leonard Fournette in DK Cash. I had Godwin in DK Cash. I played the Buccaneers defense in FanDuel Cash. Like, it was the nut spot, it felt like. And watching the yesterday and stuff, it reminded me, and I said to my buddy as well, this is why NBA DFS is a little better. I mean, I love this I love the Sundays. But NBA is so much more predictable. You know where the minutes are going to go unless there's a bonus situation.
Well, because usage essentially equals points.
Exactly. You know where the minutes, except a bonus yesterday, which has me on tilt still. You know where the usage is going. You know where the minutes, etc. And I mean, you can shoot 0 for 15 or whatever. But like, you aren't seeing the Bucks going to lose by 20 to the Houston Rockets in the NBA, where that's pretty much the equivalent of this is what it feels like. I mean, this Panthers team had nothing going for them. Trading McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, the DJ Moore situation. They got PJ Walker. Like, the whole franchise is just, they had nothing. And they beat Tampa Bay, who people are talking Super Bowl contenders. And like, I don't even know what to say at the end of the day anymore. I mean, this game is absolutely shocking. I don't know how it went like this. It cost me money. I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, you got to keep moving them down, I think, until you see something from them.
All right, I got Uncle T in the chat, of course, running that Bengals stack yesterday, finding ways to profit in the NFL. And, of course, you did have that great core title. So don't get too far down on yourself. I think all of us were pretty shocked that Fournette busted at that 7,700 price tag. Tyler, we're going to have to downgrade this team for now. What do you think of this team overall, though?
I'm not touching this team with another dollar of my money. I think this team's in complete shambles. Brady screaming at the offensive line last week.
He's been doing that for 10 years.
Yeah, but he's never really had to do it in a losing situation. Like, yeah, you could scream at him when you're 11-4 and you're winning games, and now they finally throw up a dud. Like, they're probably going to rebound and come back and play good. You're losing game. Now the old.
All right.
I know. Lose me again.
Yeah. I'll come back to you real quick. But overall, I'm going to go back to you, Title.
What are you doing with the Buck spread?
Downgrade them. I downgrade, yeah. But for betting, it's easy. We just downgrade them a point, and we'll move them back up when they show better things.
But you're not playing any of them in your DFS lineups anymore.
Yeah, but don't you think it's easier to fade? Just fade the team. I mean,
yeah. I mean, Godwin's the one. If he's in a great spot, I mean, a PPR monster. The price is still going to be there. He's the one I feel best about moving forward. But Kate Otten, he was really cheap.
Do you have any interest in those Carolina Panthers running backs now, or is it just a complete one-off, or are they still fade?
DJ Moore is the only one. I played a little DJ Moore yesterday because his price just kept coming way down. The targets and all that are still there. It was one of the grossest plays. But he was in my best 2 tournament teams, actually, on FanDuel and on DK. So he's the only one I'll keep going to.
Okay. And that's the great analysis you get here on Talking Touchdowns. Title, we're going to have to pick this up real quick. I didn't realize how long we had been taking. Let's not even talk about Jets Broncos. Did you have anything for Texans Raiders? I mean, cool. They beat the Texans. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs keeps getting the job done.
Yeah, I mean, Jacobs, fantasy beast, but he's going to be chalky. I'll eat that. That's what we call good chalk, though, right?
I agree.
I'm chalky at 36. I'm fine with that. So let's talk about my guy, Jimmy G, unable to win a duel with Patrick Mahomes. Hey, no shame there. Not many can. But tough loss for the 49ers. I thought they'd be able to keep it closer, especially as they got Trent Williams and Nick Bosa back. What were your thoughts there on seeing the Chiefs bounce back in such an impressive fashion?
Yeah, the game was closer than the final score indicates. The second half was tough. At the end of the day, I mean, I was going to say that's why I just can't back San Fran or expect too much of them in the playoffs. Like I think, but you go to the NFC and it's like, who are they going to be playing that can put up the same amount of points as the Mahomes, the Josh Allens of the world and stuff. So I guess I take that back a little bit. But the thing is, at the end of the day, Jimmy G versus an elite quarterback. I just have to take the elite quarterback every time. I just don't know if they can move the ball consistently for 4 quarters. They have a good defense, but at the end of the day, better O beats better D. That's what Mahomes did yesterday. I'm not going to slander Jimmy G too much. So, I mean, I thought he's looked a lot worse in wins. That you come on in victory lap and we mess around a little bit. He's a winner, all of that. I thought he played fine yesterday. Could have played better.
The defense gave up 44.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, you aren't winning. You aren't winning that game. At the end
and this team wasn't designed to win 45, even with Trey Lance.
But they got McCaffrey, and that's going to make your boy look even better too.
He's going to be so awesome. From a DFS perspective, do you downgrade Debo now that McCaffrey's on that team?
Yes, for sure.
Let's see. Do you think the pricing will reflect that?
Probably. Debo is always a better FanDuel than DraftKings play because the PPR is on DraftKings. Because he runs the ball so much, his rushing upside, he has more touchdown equity. That means more on FanDuel, whereas the catches mean more on DK. So I always played him more over there, but it's a downgrade on both sites. If the price comes down, though, yeah, there's always a price that can make the play still fine.
A completely public play that got home yesterday was everyone betting the Chargers. That went from 6.5 down to 4.5, and it was the right play. The money line was easy money here. The Chargers continue to be bad. Boy, poor Justin Herbert there. My guess is this team is terrible. And then they fire Brandon Staley. And then they hire Justin Herbert. I mean, not Justin Herbert. They hire Sean Payton, who wants to work with Justin Herbert. And then they absolutely dominate the AFC West under a real coaching staff. I mean, what can you do as a general manager more than Brandon Staley? Already got J.C. Jackson out of that game with the injury. Austin Eckler just continues to crush. He's more good chalk. I mean, Eckler and Jacobs, why don't I just put them in there every week? I mean, why am I even breaking down the running back position? So thoughts there on the Chargers and the Seahawks. Go ahead, Title.
I think everything you said makes a ton of sense. I mean, it has to be the coach at the end of the day. This roster is too good for them to perform like this week in and week out. If Sean Payton gets there, if any coach that I like gets there with Justin Herbert, I mean, I still think he's top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Is that a hot take now at 4-3? I don't know, but I mean, I clearly think the talent, everything's there. There is no Keenan Allen, but that's no excuse. You still gotta. Keenan did come back. He wasn't fully healthy, but
he got a couple big third down catches.
Yeah, 2. Well, how many? I didn't see a snapshot of that. For some reason, I didn't think he did. But
he wasn't very in the game. He
wasn't out there. But at the end of the day, in or out, I mean, you can't be losing this. Staley's got to get fired soon. If Sean Payton, I didn't even know that he was. Man, I would love a Sean Payton. Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Sean Payton gets Justin Herbert. Who would run more pure than Sean Payton there? But
because I think Dallas wants him, and I think he's sitting there and he goes, "Should I put a Dak or this Herbert kid?" And I think
that's the easiest. Especially, would you want to be in Dallas with all of that, or would you want to be out in LA? I mean, you do bad in Dallas, you can get some heat for sure. So yeah, if Sean Payton goes there, that's a perfect spot.
Just take it off.
Tyler, what's going on?
You got to make sure your what do they call it? Ethernet's in. I don't know if you use Ethernet, but
all right, yeah, we're gonna have to come back to Tyler on that. But I'll tell you what, we did not expect 4-3 Seattle Seahawks first place NFC West.
No, we did not.
Pete Carroll's the man. Dude, I love Tomlin. I love Pete Carroll. I love these guys that can't call plays and are totally cowards on 4th down, but know how to teach guys, know how to develop players, and the team just continues to get better. And everyone laughed when he said, "Hey, we're going to start with Geno Smith and Drew Lock," and everybody laughed. But he ended up getting the last laugh. Trying to bring Tyler back one more time. Don't know if that's going to happen. Did you have any thoughts on the Sunday night game, or do you want to go straight to Monday night, Title?
I didn't have many thoughts. I mean, you look at Kenny Pickett's line, 32 for 44, 3 interceptions. Looks like he didn't do too great, but I think that there's promise there as a Steelers fan. I definitely think. I mean, he's a competitor.
For all this talk about McDaniel, and I can't wait to roast Mangone on our Wednesday show, Picking Winners, of course, hosted by Holden. About McDaniel being a genius with all the weapons. His team doesn't put up a lot of points. They looked unstoppable for the first 3 drives and then nothing. Are you concerned about these great players not getting there from a DFS perspective, namely Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
Nah, I still think Miami's they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna have their spike weeks. Tua's first week back. I mean, he's got to learn to slide. I mean, sometimes 4th and 3 and playing another week is a lot better than taking these hits. Definitely big respect to him, but this offense needs Tua. That is for sure, and he needs to be on the field. I'm still, they underperformed yesterday for sure, but I still think we're going to see the Waddle, Tyreek, spike weeks. Mostert is the guy in the backfield, so I like him as well. I'll still be on this Miami team.
All right, it's Monday night. You know what that means. It's showdown season, and of course, nobody does better at dominating showdown slates than the team here at Run Pure Sports, and you're going to get the full showdown breakdown starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And that's with Big T and the crew. Big T, JSU might be the best tournament player, definitely the most humble tournament player. But Big T's really planted his flag as the best showdown player. So I can't wait to hear his thoughts. But hey, let's not sell you short either, Title. You're pretty good at these showdowns as well. Take a look at what we've got here tonight, and who would you be looking in the captain spot? Because you've been doing a good job identifying the players that we should be targeting for captain spot here on this show, Talking Touchdowns.
Yeah, this is a very gross slate. There's no doubt about that. You get the Bears.
Did you see that Helmet put on our thing? Normally we pick a top player, and he put the kicker
I didn't
for this show. So yeah, when you see the show, the thumbnail has the kicker because no position players were really worthy of being here tonight. So Helmet and I both agree with you there.
I always like the kicker. What's the weather going to be like in New England though? I assume it's going to be chilly. The winds and all of that, I guess the bigger thing, but
it's not crazy though. It's
not crazy. Okay. Yeah. I mean, playing one kicker or defense in your lineups, I think makes a lot of sense. The Patriots defense will get some ownership. They're 5.6K. Man, I'm definitely going to play at least one kicker and defense in this game. That is no doubt about that. Looking at the captain plays and stuff, I like this Tyquan Thornton dude. He's priced up where I think it's going to keep his ownership down as well. They get Mac Jones back. I think the Patriots move the ball. Everyone's going to want to go to the Damian Harris's of the world. On the other side, Ramondre Stevenson's of the world. David Montgomery's on the other side. I think everyone's going to go play the running game, which makes a lot of sense, obviously, with these two teams. But Tyquan Thornton, Hunter Henry stands out to me a little bit. I think both tight ends, actually. Cole Kmet, if you want to go on the Bears side. Hunter Henry on the New England side. I think both of them are pretty low owned. We know how much tight ends smash in primetime games to what it seems like. And then Jacoby Myers, 8.2K. He's expensive as well. I'm going to focus on the passing game, though. I think that's going to be my approach on it. Of course, you can mix in a David Montgomery, a Stevenson, or a Damian Harris, a Khalil Herbert at low ownership. But I'll probably max one of those guys in tournaments. Captain a wide receiver. Tyquan Thornton's the one that's staring at me in the face at 6'6". Put Mac Jones in the captain or in the flex spot. I always like, if I play in a wide receiver, a tight end, a pass catcher in the captain spot, I do like putting my quarterback in the flex mainly. If he gets a touchdown, the quarterback's going to be throwing it to him. So I'll give out a core. I'll give out Tyquan Thornton as the captain. He's going to be very
spicy.
Yeah. I mean, you want a 1% owned captain. That's what it's looking like there. So he's going to be captain. Mac Jones is going to be in the flex, and then the last spot will be. Man, I can get a little chalky. I'll go Cole Kmet. No,
so when you have % captain, can you just go chalk?
I mean, you can go a lot more chalky. So I'm going to go Patriots defense, actually. I think there's a lot of opportunities for Patriots defense. But when you're playing a 1% owned captain, you still don't want to max out salary, play all the highest owned guys, but you don't need to go nearly as crazy. That is your stand that you got really crazy at, is the captain spot. And on a slate like this, that's how I'm seeing it. I don't want to eat 15% plus chalk captain spot like a Mac Jones, Justin Fields is what I'm looking at. Of course, watch the show with those guys after they've dug in a lot more so far on this slate. But that's my initial thoughts. I really like going the low on captain. The Tyquan Thornton guy, he's going to be on the field. He's going to get targets. Mac Jones is an upgrade, I think. Bailey Zappi, he played pretty well, though. But, I'm just going to take the low on captain shot, try and solo ship it.
All right. I love what you're doing there, and that's definitely an aggressive way to approach tonight's Showdown Slate. Let's talk about it from a betting perspective here before we sign off and turn it over to those guys. Chicago 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games against the Patriots. Chicago's gone under in 4 of their last 6 games. Now that under is staring me in the face, title. But I think this is an interesting situation here on the side. The whole world is on the Patriots. It's open at 7.5. It's out to 9. It might even be 9.5 by tonight when people get off.
It's only 8 on DK.
Okay, well, I'm to 9 on bookmakers. So if you do like the chalky side and you have access to both, you're there. What would you say if I made an argument that the Bears cover the spread tonight? I thought you were going to say when everyone and their mom is on one side, the other side's always a sharp play. And JJ, right? Not on the show with us today, but if you watch JJ's shows, of course, with the Facts Man, first of all, just for entertainment value, watch him. But he gives great betting insight as well, and it's a simple concept. It's a very simple concept. We use it in stocks trading as well. Sell high, buy low, right? Isn't this the ultimate sell high spot on the Patriots? They're coming off 2 dominating games. We know this roster isn't that good. We do know that, Belichick is excellent at just taking any group of 25 men and just turning them into a great defense. So you can see the players continue to get better week in and week out. But boy, Patriots coming off 2 big wins. They're playing their best. And then, of course, you have a Bears team that, yes, let's be honest, they're not that good. But I'd also argue that they're not that bad, especially on the defensive end of the ball. What this could be is that we could see a lot of running from both teams. Of course, that's going to deflate scoring. And then those 9 points become more and more valuable. And like I said, why would I not wait? What's could happen? There's this huge buyback on the Bears, and I don't get to bet the Chicago Bears. I'll live. But if it continues to go in the direction that I go, 9.5, 10, I'm really getting intrigued by being on the Chicago Bears side. And I think it correlates to the play that I really like in this game, and that's the under. Why not? Every game's gone under. And I talked about it earlier. It was on a different game, but these offensive linemen, they don't get to practice anymore, right? They legislated that out a couple of years in the CBA, and we're seeing the difference. And on Friday, right, we have Kurt on, and Kurt, former offensive lineman, and he talks, hey, I'd rather have 5 guys that are cohesive and know how to play with each other than the 5 most talented guys just thrown together, right? And there's no more that's more important than on an offensive line here. So I really like the under, and I might end up taking a stab on the Chicago Bears. Talk to me on your thoughts about the way that I'm approaching this game from a betting perspective.
I think everything you said makes sense. I do expect I think everyone expects the running game to get going on both sides, which is why in DFS I took the little different approach going contrarian. But I think it's both teams slowing down this game. So the under makes sense at 40. And 9's a lot. That's what I'm seeing 8 on DK, the price shopping. 9 might be the best line out there. Always important to do that. And it just, it kind of reminds me of week 1 where everyone was on the Broncos over the Seahawks. And I picked the Seahawks. A lot of that had to do with, when everybody is on one side, it just feels like right to be on the other side. And
if only betting the NFL was that easy, right?
Yeah, of course. But you see it all the time. When the Buccaneers are losing by 18 to the Panthers, this numbers, Patriots have played great the past 2 weeks. No one wants to put a penny on the Bears. All of that, everything you're saying lines up to me. So I'm not going to be betting it. I'm not going to bet anything on this game. I don't want to bet the Bears side. It does feel gross, like you said. Definitely not laying that with the Patriots. The under would be my lean, but
bet the under.
40?
If you want to bet the under. I think that's safer. But the +9 correlates. The last thing I want to say about that is the Patriots did look great with Bailey Zappi as their quarterback. Is Mac Jones hurrying back out there? Is he saying, man, I might not get my job back? Is he pushing himself too soon? That's another underlying plot here for this game tonight. Let's see how healthy Mac Jones really is. And because of the weak internet in Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, guys, but it looks, and we didn't do this on purpose. I didn't just cut Tyler's feed, but it looks like to get Tyler's excellent player props, you are going to have to be a member of Run Pure Sports. Of course, those will get posted on the bet sheet. And then, of course, he's going to do up one of those awesome same-game parlays, and he's going to drop that in the Discord for members of RunPureSports.com. And Tambo thought it up but I'm going to say it every week. You can either win with us or watch us win. So head on over to runpuresports.com and join in all the fun. Title, we crushed it today. We did a great job. So I appreciate you jumping on. Perfect timing too. Would have hated to miss that Packers game.
I saw you sent the link. I'm like, right away. I knew I just got in my car from the gym. I was like, shoot, we moved it up 30 minutes, right? And I totally forgot, but it worked out. Tyler's internet looks like it held up until then.
Yeah. It worked out great. So any final thoughts for the people before we sign off?
Not only NFL, best time of the year. NFL on tonight, of course. Not the best game, but it's NFL. But NBA, it's on Hardwood Show. We got 8 games slate.
Are you on Hardwood today?
Yep, I'll be on the Hardwood Show at 4:45 Eastern.
4:45 Eastern.
Yeah, but it's these time zones. Now it's 1:45 here. All of that stuff. It's still getting time to adjust. But the final countdown show going on. 8 games. We do have a little news. It looks like waiting on some injury stuff. So. Hey,
we have a lot of news for the season not even being a week only. Yeah. This injury reports in mid-season form. Title.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's it's not the NBA without injuries. Usually this early in the season, we're fine. We don't have to be sweating it out too much. But hey, we're gonna have to today. It is myself, Hoop, and AP. I believe I'll be hosting it. We'll talk all injuries, talk all the games as always. A lot of money to be made tonight. So.
And of course, with those injuries, I say it every time, no one's better at doing those late pivots than JSU. And he is featured on the Up to Lock show. Holden's on there too, but it's still a great show. But hey, gosh, there was one more thing I wanted to say before we signed off. I can't even remember what it was. We're going to have to talk about it.
Well, who was your pick? Who was your pick for who's going to meet in the championship for basketball?
Oh, Bucks vs. Warriors.
Bucks Warriors. And who did you pick to win it?
I think the Bucks match up with them really well.
All right.
I think that's the only team that the Warriors can't beat in the finals. I would pick them over every other East team. I remember what I was going to say though, Title. Since you gave me that great core yesterday, I have to use your core today. I have to
for NBA.
So, yeah, whatever you throw up there, I'm posting it in, and then I'll grab the rest of the values, of course, from the heat map. Excuse me, but guys. This was Talking Touchdowns. Please give us a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. We'll be back. Tyler and I will be back tomorrow talking some NBA at 2 p.m. Eastern. And for more NFL coverage on Wednesday, it'll be Mangone, Holden, and I picking winners. That's more DFS focused. And then Friday, Kurt joins us, and that's more bets focused. And Kurt's been a great addition to the show. He's given out great props already. Great understanding of the game, and I feel like I learned something every week with him on the show. So make sure you join us on Friday, and that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern. Plenty of content here at Run Pure Sports, so it just feels like it never stops. Like we're on the air. We're almost like a 24/7 radio station now, right? Title. We just got to get an overnight DJ in there, just maybe play some hip hop overnight, right? So we never go off the air. But we got more great content coming up here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. So. Please subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified when Big T and the rest of the winners go live for the Showdown season. Anything else, Title, before I sign off?
Fun week is it football. Still football tonight. Hockey. If you like hockey, we got that over Run Pure Sports. League of Legends. So much money to be made. Best time of the year. Check out Run Pure Bets. The playbook you guys do. All the bets you guys got up tonight. Let's make some money today.
Run Pure.